This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. All right, so Drake has opted out of submitting his album to the Grammys, like a lot of artists are kind of doing now, because the Grammys is BS. What's the point? You know, it's like, it's almost like they're not totally honest, you know? And I'm not talking about because of the Kendrick thing. I'm just talking about overall. We've seen this in the past where, like, even 50 Cent, who was the biggest selling artist in 2003, didn't win Best New Artist. It was like Evanescence, you know? And they did not sell anywhere close to what he sold or had the impact. So they've been about nothing. J. Cole is now the only rapper to have all his studio albums sell 200K plus the first week and chart at number 1 on Billboard. Now, he's released a lot less albums than most people, right? And he never dropped 3 albums at one time. And they're only doing this because I think Kendrick had one that didn't go above 200 at one point, and then Drake... obviously, the two of them only did 110. Well, one did 460. The others did about 110, 120. I mean, they're always going to do some type of, you know, check on stats. You know, like the first artist to drink tea while going 200K plus and number 1 at the same time. You know, it's just like, I'm getting sick of these, you know, little stupid stats. I don't care if Drake, first person on a plane to record 3 albums. You know, I don't care. It's like, is the music good or not? We're not playing J. Cole anymore, are we? J. Cole album came and went very quickly. Very quickly. Well, Jim Jones being lame as usual, okay? We can't, just like Dame Dash, we can't discredit what Jim Jones did with Dipset, okay? And he had a good run. I mean, he was Cam's hype man for years, then became his own man, worked his way up, built Dipset with CAMRON, and became his own artist around 2004 and 5, right? And had a smash hit one summer, you know? He's had big hits, but he had a smash hit one summer. He's paid his dues, you know? But after that, he got very lame. Around 2008, 2009, it was over. That's when he became a Love and Hip Hop guy. Then I thought he was coming back in 2020 when he dropped that album that had Fat Joe on it. He was arguably rapping better than everybody in Dipset at that moment. But then, you know, he threw it all away, just trolling all the time. He's always beefing with somebody, you know? Beefing with Kanye, beefing with CAMRON, beefing with Dame Dash, beefing with Freaky Zeke. He always has some type of stupid beef going on. He's involved in tons of criminal cases, but dodging any time and being pulled in to the case somehow. Jim Jones is just a spooky dude. Now he's trying to do a versus with CAMRON because CAMRON is the reason to him why they lost the last verses. No, you lost the last verses because Dipset there was no plan. You guys didn't have a good plan going against the Lox. And you can argue all you want that, the Lox is really unified and they're a group. Arguably, most of their careers have been solo careers. They do perform a lot together, and they're more you don't see public beefs with the Lox. And trust me, they do have issues with each other, but they keep it behind the scenes. When Dipset members make it public, you know? Arguably, Dipset had a huge movement, like a G-Unit and a bunch of other... I guess you could say Rough Riders was a movement, too. But it's like, with a big movement comes big fallouts as well. The Lox had their movement as well, D-Block, but it wasn't as big, but it's stood the test of time, you could say. So Jim Jones wants to take CAMRON to versus. Listen, he says smoke ain't your thing. We all know that. So let's settle this like this. What? Because Jim Jones wants to fight CAMRON at 50 years old. Jim Jones wants to fight him. Let's settle this once and for all. We can do it right in Harlem. We know you ain't been there in a while, but they still love you. Yo, Jim Jones, you're going out so bad. It's insane, bro. Like, you're really tarnishing your legacy. You might as well just go sign to Dame Dash and join the hater club. Now, I know I'm a hater too, so you don't have to tell me. I know I am. But I'm just saying, these guys are just like hating on each other, and they're supposed to be unified. You're supposed to at least appear unified. You don't have to tell everybody how you feel about somebody. Yeah, I don't really like them that much right now. You could shut up, you know? Rick Ross says 50 doesn't own his masters and lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. All I used to tell him is, you can't dress. You're not going to get no money. You don't own your masters. And I always speak down on him because he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. But Eminem saved you. Dr. Dre saved you. All the big names. Rose did it himself. Rick Ross had a lot of help from the city of Miami, to be honest with you. A lot of people boosted him up, which is fine. But he didn't have like a cosign coming in the game, if you want to say. But you really had Jay-Z pushing you when you signed to Def Jam. But hey, it is what it is. And Drake and Jay-Z has carried your career since then, kind of, in a way. So, and Kanye. Rick Ross is just like a mess, bro. To be honest with you, he's a mess. He knows how to make it look good, and he does make it look good. Pause. We don't know his real situation. He could be flying real close to the sun, and we wouldn't even know it, but it is what it is. And he doesn't talk about leasing his masters. He did some weird stuff with his masters to get capital to put into these real estate things. He's betting on it. He's definitely taking risks to make a lot of money, and that's fine. You know, that's what you do. Meek Mill thinks he came up with Dreams and Nightmares. He says Meek Mill calls out Nike for using his Dreams and Nightmares branding without his permission. Why wouldn't anybody holler at me about this? Because you don't own it. It's not trademarked under you. He says, so Nike, you're going to take my whole brand and mash it up with LeBron? What is this? Why wouldn't anybody holler at me about this? I thought sneaks were fake. What's up with this? Meek Mill does not legally own this trademark. I'm going to tell you something. You know who said it way before Meek Mill? John Lennon. He said, I believe in everything until it's disproved. So I believe in fairies, the myths, the dragons. Even if it's in your mind. Who's to say that dreams and nightmares aren't as real? See? Meek Mill didn't come up with the term dreams and nightmares. It came way before that. So Meek Mill should just simmer down. He hoped he might have gotten that. Maybe he should have trademarked it. I don't think anybody has a trademark. Keisha Kaur pops out icy before her husband Gucci Mane hits the stage in ATL. I think OJ the Juice Man hit the stage with him as well. Atlanta still supports Gucci Mane, even though he has these snitching allegations on him right now. Fine. Jay Prince out here putting his pressure on Little Baby. You guys didn't like that in the last one. Well, certain people didn't. I don't care. You know, certain people didn't like it on the last one. But the truth is, he checked in, and you shouldn't let a guy like Jay Prince Jr. around you, because nothing but trouble comes from that. But hey, Little Baby says dumb things and does dumb things. He called this reporter the other day 12. He says, you're asking questions about my hood. That's police. And he says, I do interviews for a living. That's what Little Baby says. Little Baby, you sound stupid, bro. What do you mean police stuff? Bro, you've been out the streets for a long time, bro. Over a decade. Calm down. Calm down, man. Just because you moved dumb in the beginning. Calm down. You're going to get asked interviews about your hood because that's all you talk about. DJ Khaled thinks he's iShow Speed. He watched a few iShow Speed going to different countries, and now DJ Khaled is trying to do the same where he pop. Most of these kids probably don't even know who he is, bro. To be honest with you. They know the songs that he's done, but they don't look, oh, that's DJ Khaled. They look mostly at, oh, that's Little Baby in Future, you know? Like, but he's trying to manufacture this thing that he's a global superstar. Stop. Khaled, you're not iShow Speed, bro. DDG had to and he's not giving money to any of these people. That's another thing. DJ Khaled's cheap as hell, bro. He doesn't give back at all, bro. Ever. He barely gives to the people that work for him. DDG had to immediately call Almighty J after someone sent him this wild clip of Aiden Ross and Almighty J cuddling with each other watching video. Yeah, that is really suspect. It was funny. Make sure you go watch that clip if you can. It's hilarious. He actually calls Almighty J and he's like, yo, it's AI, bro. And he's like, AI wasn't out at this time. This is 2020. And AI wasn't that accessible then. CAMRON says, this is Saint Laz. He's a rapper from New York. And he does funny things on his Instagram. And he acts like he's just this is one of the characters he plays where he's like just some old grumpy guy in New York. It's hilarious, right? Like the hater unk, right? And so he says, who you impersonating, bro? Good song choice. I know AM post last week. Did y'all miss me? Tune into It Is What It Is. To me, St. Laz this is being Jim Jones. Because Jim Jones is like a hater. But he could be it could really apply to a lot of people. Gunplay talks about attacking Vlad at a party. He says, I didn't know who he was. I just saw some people jumping on him. I jumped on him too because my MMG partners were jumping on him. That was pretty uncalled for. Everybody was calling Rick Ross out for being a CO at that time. They just chose to pick on Vlad. And Vlad that's actually part of what started Vlad TV. Part of it. There's more to it. But they got a couple $100,000 out of Rick Ross at that time. It helped Vlad invest more money into Vlad TV. I think they got $300,000. He got $300,000 out of that. Wave Gods 2, Cosmo Brothers with French Montana and Max B. It's looking like 10K the first week. So that's that. Anyways, this is Jordan Tao with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I'll check you guys in the next one.